right, so we're gonna get started now. I'm gonna mute you all. And we're gonna take just a moment to sit first thing. But please make sure that you have all your usual props, something that resembles blocks, a blanket, and then a pillow or a bolster. And then take a moment to move your sitting bones. And as you move your sitting bones in your seat, just remember that sitting does not have to look like a cross-legged position. It can be whatever you need to be able to sit up well. But let's take a moment to shift and move. And then as you rest your hands down on your legs or on your lap, however you're sitting, let your shoulders lift up and back. Let your eyes close. And then take a moment to tune into a breath moving evenly in and out of the nose. Starting to let your breath fill you up entirely from low belly all the way up to the crown of your head. Place a hand over your heart and for a moment, tune into something that you are grateful for this morning. It can be a something or a someone or a someplace. And now setting an intention of sending gratitude to that thing or place or person that you're grateful for. Thinking of your movement today as this moving meditation of gratitude. Take a couple more deep breaths and let your heart space be filled up. And as you softly open your eyes and release your hands down, lift your shoulders up and back and add a little bit of movement here through head and neck, just checking out what's present for you. Noticing what is there from your weekend or from how you slept. Then as you come back into center now, hands work to your knees. And on your exhale, gently draw your right shoulder forward and your left shoulder back, taking a little bit of a twist. Lift your ribs up, and then as you exhale, draw your low ribs in to help you twist just a little bit more. Then inhale, come back into center, and exhale, take that twist over to the right side. And again, take an inhale and let your sides grow longer. Exhale to engage your low ribs and twist a little bit more. Then inhale, come back into center. This time, reach your right hand all the way across to your left knee or thigh if that's comfortable. If not, you can always take it to the floor in front of you. Press your left fingertips down behind you and lift up even higher. Think of tilting your pelvis a little bit forward so your belly is coming forward. And then as you exhale, low ribs draw in to help you twist just a little bit more. Inhale, come back into center. And exhale, left hand across to your right knee or thigh. Right fingertips behind you. And again, lift up tall through your sides as you inhale. Exhale, low ribs in to help you twist. Inhale, come back into center. Now switch the cross of your legs, coming to the less comfortable cross for yourself. And then shift your sitting bones. And now this gratitude practice, let's take our gratitude arms as a way to open up through our heart space a little bit more. So your elbows are hugged in by your sides, palms are lifted, and engage your hands. Engaging is a huge part of allowing your energy to flow well. It's also how we create stability. So as you engage your hands, rotate more through your arms, expanding more through your chest, feeling shoulder blades engage onto your back. And now support this opening with some engagement through your low ribs. Take an exhale and think about trying to knit your low ribs together. Inhale, lift your shoulders up and back, lengthen the back of your neck. And now from here, stay open through your chest in gratitude, but tilt your chin down and give a little shake of your head toward the ground. Then back up to center, nice and tall through the back of your neck, and then move up and down through shoulder blades. And working through some of that stuck stuff through the shoulders, allowing for a little bit more opening. And now fingertips come to connect in front of you. Push your fingertips together and puff up that space in between your shoulder blades as you exhale. Cat pose in the upper back here. Tuck your chin in and then add movement side to side with your ribs, your shoulders. Getting a little bit more stretch and movement through your lats and more parts of your back. Then inhale, sit tall, and now come forward onto hands and knees. And from hands and knees, right away, shift back into a child's pose. And if you would like to here, you can tuck your toes under and get that stretch through your feet that was talked about a little bit earlier. And as you let your head rest down, take a couple big breaths to tune into whatever is showing up through your spine, through your back body, hips, your feet now. Then inhale, rise up to your hands and your knees. And now from hands and knees, we'll pedal out with our legs. I'll stay turned sideways so that you can see, getting a little bit more stretch through calves and hamstrings. So reaching back with one leg, toes tucked under, give a push through your heel, and then return your knee back to the ground. Reach back with the other leg, create a reach even longer as you push through your heel, and then release your knee back down. And just keep moving from side to side here, getting that stretch. Checking in, noticing if there's one side that's maybe more tight than the other, or if they feel pretty similar here. One more time on each side. Then as you come back to center on your hands and your knees, you're setting yourself up again, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Evenly spread your fingers and root down through palms and fingertips. And now rotate your elbow pits forward and push, expanding into your upper back. Draw your low ribs in just a little to support your back. And then reach back with your right leg. Lifting your foot up off the ground this time, turn open with your hip. Press through your heel. Stay pushing through your hands and take a big deep breath. On your exhale, return your hips back to center. Your leg stays lifted, and we'll move with our breath 3 more times. Inhale, open your hip up, and exhale, hip back to center. Inhale, open it up. Exhale to center. One more time, inhaling and exhaling. Release your knee back to the ground. Reconnect with your arms, rotating elbow pits forward. Push, expand into your upper back a little bit. Inhale, lift your left leg and turn open with your hip. Pause here and stay strong through your hands. Reach through your heel. Big deep breath. Tone your low belly, supporting your low back. On your exhale, hips come to center. And inhale, open up. 2 more. Full exhale. Deep inhale. Long, full exhale. Long, deep inhale. Now exhale back to center, release your knee down. And from hands and knees, resetting yourself and move through a slow, thoughtful cat and cow. Just resetting the spine, noticing for yourself what's present in the body. Then inhale back to a neutral place. Push toes into the ground, lift your hips up and back into your downward facing dog pose. And notice your hands again. Notice that knuckle of your first finger and push it down more. Even think of where your first finger attaches to your palm. Press that down. And then stay strong through your hands as you pedal out with your legs, letting a little bit of movement happen here through your knees, through your hips. Take a moment to notice how your body feels. Notice what's showing up. And have an intention of moving in such a way that you're showing yourself some gratitude here. Gratitude for a body to work with. Gratitude for being here on your mat. And whatever else shows up for you as a grateful place. Then walk your feet forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. You're welcome to have blocks here to support you if you would like, bringing the floor a little bit closer. Feet inner hip distance apart and parallel, or you're welcome to take them a little bit wider. Take an inhale and lengthen partway. Extend your heart forward. Send your sitting bones up. Exhale and fold over your legs. As you fold here, keeping a little softness to your knees. And if you're particularly tight through hips and hamstrings, then maybe take a deep bend to your knees. As you let your head and neck hang down, take a couple big breaths, maybe close your eyes. Just notice your own heart space as you take a deep inhale and exhale in and out of the nose. And now hands to hips. Push your hips back, start to lift up and open through the heart first, and then rise all the way up to stand. And as you come up to stand, you can walk your feet back into inner hip distance apart if they were wider. Take your hands behind your back to clasp, and as you clasp here, press palms, bend elbows, and hug them toward each other. Take a big inhale and lift your heart up high. Big exhale, tone, low belly and low ribs. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, release your hands and come to that gratitude place that we were at when we were sitting. Elbows hug in, and this time, pulses. And as you pulse, finding that movement back with your hands, you get to feel a little bit of engagement through shoulder blades. Maybe you have some really stuck tight shoulder blades. And in that case, you get to notice what's going on for you. This is a huge part of showing yourself some gratitude, is taking the time to be aware. And now pause, lift your heart up just a little bit higher, take an inhale and stretch up overhead. Exhale, bent knees to fold over your legs. Inhale and lengthen partway. Exhale and fold. Planting fingertips, you're stepping your right foot back into your lunge. Pause and take a moment to center your hips, sending your left hip crease back in space. Now push into the floor and start to lift your heart up. Come to gratitude here, or you're welcome to reach back and clasp again, your choice, whichever feels the best to you. Take a really deep breath here, noticing the legs beginning to work, noticing an engagement through your core, supporting your low back. Take a big inhale, open up and expand, lift your heart. Exhale, hands come down to the front of your mat. And now walk your hands to the inside. And from this place, you can always bring your knee down behind you if you want to. You can always stay up on blocks here if you want to, but take your hands wide. Your left arm is right up against your left leg. Extend your chest forward and wrap your left glute down and back, or back and down. Now, as you bend your elbows and start to move your chest low, keep your hips low, and you're gonna go as low as your body is ready for, keeping shoulder blades on your back. Then inhale, press up. So this is kind of like a lunging push-up. Exhale, bend your elbows, keep your shoulders up and back. Inhale, push up. Good, one more time. Exhale, bend your elbows, get your chest low. Inhale, push up. And then work your hands back to surrounding your front leg and step back. Downward facing dog pose. Take a really deep breath right here. Inhale, come forward into your plank. Use knees on the ground if you would like. Rotate elbow pits forward and push. Extend your chest. Tone your belly. Exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Then pause for a moment here. Set yourself up. Reach back with one leg at a time. And then root down through tops of feet, knees. Push your hands down. And inhale, curl up and open as high as your body is ready for here in your cobra. Take a big deep breath. Let your breath help you to maybe rise up just a tiny bit higher. Then pushing back to your downward dog, you're welcome to move through your hands and knees if you'd like to. Take a deep breath. And now walking your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Take an inhale and lengthen partway. Exhale and fold. Plant fingertips, stepping left foot back into your lunge. Pause and center first, drawing right hip crease back in space. Push your back toes down, enabling your back thigh to lift a little bit. And then rise up. And as you rise up this time, hands come to your hips first. And remind yourself of that movement of your hips towards center. Now, as you push down on your hips, lift your chest up, lift your sides, expand your inner body, make yourself nice and bright. And then either gratitude or clasp, your choice. Take a big, deep breath. As you notice the strength of your legs, push more into the ground and lift your heart up even higher. Exhaling, hands come down to the front of your mat. You're working your hands to the inside and taking your hands as wide, if not wider, than your shoulders. And from this place, again, you can always bring your back knee down, or you can make it just a little bit of extra work. Okay, so you decide what's right for you today. Right arm is right up against your right leg. Wrap your right glute down and under. Extend your chest. And then as you exhale, you're bending your elbows and getting your chest low, keeping shoulder blades engaged on your back, shoulders lifted. Inhale, push back up. And exhale, bend your elbows. Inhale, push back up. One more time. Exhale, bend your elbows, heart low. Inhale, push back up. Now bring your hands to either side of your front leg, and this time step back into your child's pose. Big toes together, knees wide, hips to heels. Let your head rest. Take a couple big breaths to tune into what's showing up in your body today. Tune into what you are grateful for. And take a gratitude-filled breath. Then inhaling, rising back up to your hands and your knees. Let's take our left leg turned on your knee to turn your toes off of your mat. We're coming to balance on our left hand or left knee, turning to the right side in this side plank modification. Put both shoulder blades on your back, and now reach your top arm over your ear if that's in your practice. If that bothers the shoulder at all, then keep your hand at your hip. But take a really big breath now and push into the ground with your left hand. Expand your right ribs upward. And now inhale, arm reaches straight up. If you would like to, you can tone your belly and lift your right leg up off the ground. Deep, full breath. Both shoulder blades are on your back, supporting your heart. Exhaling, both hands come back down to the ground, both knees come back down. From your hands and knees, 2 full breaths in a cat and cow, tuning into what's present for you and honoring yourself for being here. Then back into center now, rotating on your right leg. Finding your balance onto your right hand, turning to the left side. From right here, left arm reaches up and over your ear if that's in your practice. If not, feel free to keep your hand at your hip. But tone your low belly here. Extend your heart, put both shoulder blades onto your back. Take a big breath and think of expanding your top ribs even more. Now, if you'd like to, you can extend your left arm straight up and lift your left leg up off the ground. Your choice. Toning your low belly, take a full big breath. On your exhale, both hands, both knees come back down. And this time, as you settle your hips back towards your heels, if you'd like to, you can reach your arms back alongside your body to take your child's pose. Full big deep breath. And then gently push yourself up to your seat and come all the way down onto sitting bones. And now find pillow or bolster or rolled up blanket and set them underneath your legs. And then as you let your legs come to rest over your prop, you can take your legs as wide as your prop if you want to. Sometimes that feels better on the low back and hips, or you can keep them more narrow. I like it somewhere in between, but you can be wherever that feels the best to you. So shift your sitting bones, move them back and broad. And then as you pull your toes back gently toward your nose, that gives a little bit of length through the calf muscle and tone through the shin. Press your fingertips down and lift your ribs up high. And from here, you're going to walk your way down your legs, coming as far into a fold as your body is ready for. That might be staying pretty upright. That might even be keeping your hands behind you to sit tall. Take a moment to find where that is for you, where you can keep a long spine from all the way down at your sitting bones. You're tilting your belly forward. Feel free to close your eyes here if you would like to. And take some deep breaths. Forward folds are a great way to tune into your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest. As you allow your eyes to soften, whether your eyes are closed or not, let your breath become full and deep. In and out of your nose. Return to that place of gratitude, recognizing what it is that you're grateful for today. Then inhale, gently bring yourself back upright. Footprints to the floor. Set your bolster aside. And now we're going to take another hip opener just to give ourselves that little bit of extra. Whatever you happen to have, and it could even be a bolster or a pillow to set in front of you. If you have a yoga block, then set that out in front of you. Left leg becomes your base. You can bend it so that you have a comfortable seat. You can also sit up on something here if you want to. You're going to take your right foot with your foot flexed to the edge of what you're using as a prop. Your foot is flexed, your knee is opening up as much as your body is ready for. And just remember that's a part of honoring yourself, is tuning into where it's right for your body. We're not trying to go further than our body naturally goes. As you move your sitting bones, press your fingertips down and lift your ribs up high. Foot flexes, press your heel down. You might feel your glute fire up on the right side if you have started to work with your glutes in that way. Long spine here. Now open and close your knee a little bit, just gently lifting and lowering, lifting and lowering. And now opening it up as much as your body is ready for. Walk your hands to the inside. If that's in your practice, if that makes your low back round back, then stay with your hands behind you. Find that tilt of your pelvis so your belly is coming forward. And now if it's in your practice, if you want to take that a little bit further, then maybe walk your hands underneath, right arm underneath your right leg, maybe hold on to the edge of your block. Maybe you reach up and over if underneath is a little bit much. And where that is for you, that can be nice and close to yourself with your hands. That can be deeply moving underneath your leg. Take a big breath wherever that is. Then inhale, gently rise back up. And switch legs. Right leg becomes your base. Left heel, flexed foot comes to the edge of your prop, whatever you're using. Shift your sitting bones. And then give your foot a flex and a press. If you can maybe press enough to feel your glute fire up on the left side. Press your fingertips down beside you, lift your ribs up high, and then start to open and close with your leg. Gently, going to that place again, not where you're trying to push beyond, but to where your body is ready to go. So we have an optimal blueprint for everything in our body and in our mind. And that optimal blueprint very literally has to do with the shape of your bones. So how much you open your hip has a lot to do with where your hip sockets are and how they're angled. So as you open it up as much as your body is ready for and lift your ribs, your chest, your heart, and then work your hands as close to the block or maybe even underneath as your body is ready for. And I know I'm not symmetrical in my hips, so this side is not as open as the other side is, and I get to just tune into that and respect it. Respecting where I am, honoring where I am, and being grateful for the body I have to work with. Full breath. Then inhale back up to center. Footprints to the floor. And then we're going to make our way all the way down onto our backs. And make sure that all your props are handy and accessible. Draw your knees up close to your chest and rock a little bit side to side. And now you're going to pick the prop that you would like to set your hips on. So you can set it up a little bit higher, maybe on a higher part of your block. You can set it up a little bit lower on a bolster if that's lower for you, or you can set it up on a folded blanket. So as you lift your hips, you're going to slip whatever prop you're using underneath your hips and to a comfortable place for your sacrum and low back. And now from that place, we're going to lift our legs up. So this is a modified version of legs up the wall. So if having your hips on something turns out to not be good for your body, if it doesn't feel good, then you'll just simply take your prop out, okay? So lifting your knees up toward your chest, start to lift your legs up toward the ceiling. And from this place, your arms can be wherever it's comfortable. And if holding your legs up is tricky, just remember that a good bend to your knees is okay too. The whole purpose of this is to get lymph nodes to be up above the heart, giving them a good rinse. You have lymph nodes throughout your body, and your lymph is a huge part of your immune system. So take a few breaths wherever that is for you. And even if it's tough to keep your legs lifted, you're welcome to have a strap, or even you could always take your blanket over your feet to help hold them. Then for a moment, give your feet a flex and point, working through some of that ankle mobility and working through length through the calf and length through the shin. And then rotation of your feet. And then switch directions. And now bend your knees and set your footprints on the ground. And from here, this is a little bit of a modified bridge pose. You can always reach your arms up overhead. You can always walk your legs out long. This will get a little deeper into that long hip flexor called the psoas. But really ultimately come to a place that honors your body right now. Take a moment wherever that is for a full deep breath. And now you can slip your prop down underneath your legs, set a blanket over the top of you, set yourself up for a few moments of rest, the opportunity to digest and take in the work that you've done in your practice, and to give yourself permission to let go of anything that doesn't serve you right now. Begin to take a deeper breath. Gently add movement into fingers and into toes. And as you're ready to, you can bend your knees and roll over to your side. And slowly push yourself back up to your seat. Hands coming together at heart center with your eyes closed. Take another moment as you take a deep breath to tune into what you're grateful for today and this week. Have a very peaceful and beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.